So we're going to take up first, Mr. Brown. We've got Ms. Willman here on Zoom. This is case 24-188. And so let me just get you both put under oath here. There might be a couple of questions. So Ms. Willman, start with Ms. William. Ms. Willman, can you raise your right hand? And Ms. Willman, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, Your Honor.
All right. And Mr. Brown, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Ms. Willman, are you able to hear Mr. Brown?
I can, yes.
Okay, that red lighted thing doesn't amplify, but it collects, it'll allow Ms. Willman and the record to hear you. So just so you know what that is.
Thank you.
All right, so we're on case 24-188, and I see Ms. William, you were served. I also see that Thurston County Superior Court has taken a defamation case from some information that was filed here. And as recently as April 15th, there was a denial of your request, Mr. Brown, by this court for an order against Ms. Willman. And so I looked at previous information that was filed, and I looked at the information that was filed for this case. And there isn't anything alleged, Mr. Brown, from you that is different or in addition to April 15th in this petition.
Your Honor,
So,
sorry.
is there anything else?
Is there Officer Lee's Desmond here, 1P85? He said he's gonna help testify on my character.
It's up to
and
you
harassment.
to have people come to court on your behalf, just as it's up to
Yes.
Ms. Willman to do that.
I understand, Your Honor. I did talk to
ask them to
Officer.
be here?
Yes, I did. He said he was gonna be here. When I was,
Did you put him under subpoena or ask the court to send a subpoena? I
He
don't
just-
see that you asked the
he
court to
just-
do that.
he just gave me his word. I saw him when I was, he was going to Idaho Avery's house to serve him the petition. And on the way back, I asked him, I told him that the court is on the 17th at 9 a.m. If he could please be here. Since he's not here, I would like to ask a continuum for next time, so he has a chance to be here so I can subpoena him.
And what do you
if-
expect him to say?
To talk about the issues that's been going on for the past 2 years and how.
Anything from April 25th or April 15th, when you were last before this court on
Yes,
a
Your Honor, I've
petition?
had a letter received in my mail that I believe is from Lewis Willman and her associates.
Was that what you provided in your exhibits?
The recent
this?
ones. I had 150 other pages that I don't know why I was denied, but I did have a huge list of,
So let
conduct
me
of-
get you to answer my question.
I'm sorry, Miss.
Since April 15th, when you were before this court last and the court said, no, you don't get an order against Ms. Willman. I'm going forward from April 15th and
Mhm.
looking at what you filed in this petition alone. And you're referring to, you got another letter that you think is from Ms. Willman and you think that's unlawful harassment. Is that right?
Your Honor, yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And
And you filed that, and that's what I'm looking at in your exhibits. That's what you're saying
yes,
is
can
the new information.
can I explain why I feel like the letters are derived from her and the situation at large, please?
Well,
if
not the situation at large. I'm
Yes.
asking you to narrow your information from April 15th forward, because we've already had a hearing on everything previously. I understand that the court can look back, and I did look back and I reviewed all of what was reviewed previously by the judge, because, sometimes these courts of conducts require that look back, but there's already been a decision based on previous information, and it was found that there was not a course of conduct. There was not unlawful harassment committed by Ms.
That's why
Willman.
I was-
So I'm talking April 15th going forward,
Yes.
and what you filed isn't providing the court any information.
The
support that.
letters that were sent, this is why I was trying to have the sheriff here, because I knew I couldn't resubmit the papers that were here. But there is a long history of She emailed.
I understand. I've reviewed the previous petitions
I know, I'm sorry, miss.
and we're
I
talking
understand.
April 15th going forward
It's a
now.
letter that was sent that talks about things that's directly related to the case that you wouldn't have any knowledge of unless you're watching the court case in itself. That doesn't seem likely.
This court case or the defamation case?
The one with Ido Avery that I had a petition against him.
Right,
If you
and I've
notice on
reviewed
May
that.
17th, she sent a letter was sent at that was sent from Tacoma. That if you would read the letter, you'd see inside of there. She
I'm
delivered the
looking at your
papers
exhibits,
oh,
and
sorry.
so
she
direct me here. Something to Megan Lee Russell, member Prostitute Association that's the return address to Grace Monson, member Prostitution Association. So is that what I'm supposed to do? Figure something from? Tell me what that.
Yes, if you notice in there, that little picture on the upper right-hand side of a man pulling his pants down, that was attached to a letter that was in the last petition that was most likely sent from my neighbor saying, stay away from outside the easement. And with that paper was another one that said, court case with Lewis Willman on there. It was delivered on the same day on that there was a court date in May, I believe. And so I'm just really nervous about this.
Well,
and in it, if you notice, a lot of the language in there is very derived of somebody who would be personal knowledge and knowing about things that are happening and direct harassment towards me. I've never had any issues with harassment until I've received till Lewis Millman has stepped into my life 2 years ago. And since April 15th as well, I've had other letters being sent to the local bar, which I don't even drink. I haven't been sober 11 years. And a lot of the language in there is saying I'm a violent person. I've never had anything violent on my record.
So you say something sent to a third party at a bar or a tavern?
Is that not the same thing? It's 313 Sussex. I haven't.
Okay, so a letter was sent there. How do you know that?
Because it had my return address and I have the letter at my house. I'm ready to put that into for a PI to get a DNA test done on it. Have you noticed where it's sent from? It's sent from Tacoma.
Mr. Brown, I'm not going to go forward any more with.
Is there any way that it can continue?
No.
I didn't get
there is nothing that you're going to present to the court that hasn't already been presented. You've presented all of your information for this petition under 24-188. I've reviewed all of that. As I said, I've gone back because I noticed that there was a hearing April 15th that denied your request. Don't interrupt me. And I see also that Superior Court has taken some jurisdiction. I don't know what's going on there or if it continues on that case. But in this situation, you have provided nothing to the court that is an addition or different than what was already decided April 15th. So
my case will
don't interrupt me, Mr. Brown. Do not interrupt me.
Okay.
I'm ruling as to this case 24-188, denying your request for any order against Ms. Willman. And that's the end of it, is you haven't proven to a legal standard unlawful harassment committed by Ms. Willman against you.
I have 150 pages of the documents.
And April 15th, there was a denial and a consideration of all the information that you filed then and nothing new. Not arguing with you, Mr. Brown. Stop. No argument. I'm done. I've ruled on this case. We have two others to talk about. We have two others to talk about.
And it's been
so we're going to move on to the other two where
there's
people
no way
are not.
Mr. Brown, no, come here and testify.
No, there is no basis to continue. No good cause. There's nothing that you've presented.
The fact that letters and she's an elderly lady isn't enough of like connective.
Mr. Brown, you've got to stop talking.
But I can't.
You've got to stop talking so I can rule, and then we can move on to the other cases.
Your rule is your rule in her favor. I get it.
Finding there's no good cause to continue this case as your witness is not present by 9:30. You did not put them under subpoena. There's no good reason to believe why they're not here other than that they didn't know about this or don't want to be here. And you haven't provided any information for the court to find good cause that this person will provide anything different to your petition. And your petition is wholly insufficient for the court to issue any kind of order against Ms. Willman, given the fact that the court has reviewed all of that information on April 15th and made this decision. I
Like,
looked for
There's
anything
no way
after
all that,
April
you guys
15th.
looked through 150 pages worth of the paperwork and saw that she was not involved with direct
So,
harassment. She was
we'll move
messaging the
on to the
person who
next
stole my animals.
case,
When my
which is
animals
our,
were
with
stolen,
this
miss,
24-189.
messaging the
Are you
people
ready
who
to
were
move
stolen.
on?
Can I
You
just
gonna move
please,
on
can I-
with me?
Can I say my last piece, please?
No, we're gonna move on. I've made
She
my
was
ruling.
messaging the person who stole
No,
my
Mr.
animals.
Brown, you're not listening. We have two other cases to deal with. Stay seated. So you've also asked for, so Ms. Willman, you can be on your way if you'd like. That's the end of the hearing. There is no order issued. I can't hear you, Ms. Willman. You've muted yourself.
I would just like to mention that on Friday, this last Friday, the 14th.
So I don't need any testimony from
Okay.
you, Ms. Willman. I've made my decision. The court will
Perfect.
not be issuing an order. There's not a basis.
Yeah, and that was denied as well, Louis.
Okay, so,
You lost that case.
Mr. Brown. So you can be on your way, Ms. Willman. If you'd like to stay, you can
I
stay,
just
but you
don't
can
want them
also
to
be on
talk
your
about
way.
me. I didn't even say physical. I just don't want them
So-
to send any more letters about my family.
We also have your request for an order against Loretta Mullenbry under case number 24-189. I see that she was not served in any way. And have you shown, is there anything you can show that shows that you gave her service or notice of today's date?
I gave it to the sheriff when I left. The sheriff, they know the sheriff didn't serve him. I gave him this stuff.
When did you give them the stuff?
I gave the sheriff when I got the temporary protection.
Okay, so the day that you were before the court, June 6th.
Yeah, I gave it to the sheriff's office. And the sheriff office said they're delivering them. I don't know anything past that. I
All
do
right, so
know
when
Joan
did
and
you last
Avery.
talk to the sheriff about that service?
I talked to a sheriff yesterday,
Mhm.
and he was on his way yesterday to go give her the paperwork.
Okay. All right.
And he said that they tried throughout the week, but they typically have a Monday through Friday person, but they're doing it on Sunday. They typically don't do it because you couldn't get involved in contact with them previously.
Okay. All right. So as to the Avaries, that's 24-190 that you've asked for an order against them. And I see that this court has issued an order as recently as May 13th against the Avaries, protecting them against you. And here we are 3 weeks, not even 3 weeks after that, June 6th, you filed for an order against them.
Yes, this one I do have a lot more information on.
Well, first off, I
Sorry.
don't see that they were given any notice at today's hearing. How did you do that?
I do know for sure that they had got the paperwork yesterday when the sheriff went by and gave it to them because
Okay,
they were
what
home all day.
evidence, what I need is something from the sheriff that says in fact that they did that.
Okay,
I don't have that filed with the court.
Then I don't know, sir. Sorry, I'm very nervous. Let me say that, Your Honor. I know they got the notice on the door. I
Okay,
don't
well,
know.
I need something
anything
more
other-
than
That's all I
that.
have. That's all information. I didn't,
Okay,
I had the sheriff deliver them. I thought the sheriffs were delivering them. That was that, you know, and
Right.
I didn't know I had to do anything else other than, and I just come to court. I'm just trying to get these letters to stop.
okay.
I
Let me
have a
figure
daughter
out,
during
I
a
just see
month.
someone coming in his iPhone. Let me find out who that is.
A few moments later.
So as going back to you, Mr. Brown, in case number 24-190, your request against the Avaries for an order. So Mr. Brown, I'm going to dismiss this action. There's no order issued on your behalf to begin with. We simply set this for a hearing. But the court already issued an order protecting the Avaries against you.
Your Honor, if you,
Stop, I'm talking.
I'm sorry.
May 13th, and that's in effect until May 13th of 2025. And in your petition, there's nothing in there since that May 13th hearing, other than name calling, which is not unlawful harassment. So
What about the
I
letters?
find that your
We-
filing for an order against the Avaries, frankly, is vindictive, and there is no basis. So I will not grant this
I haven't really
request
told my side. I have the letters I
because there
sent.
is no,
There is
There's
the
nothing
letters.
for
If
the
you look at
court
the
to
image
do,
right
and I
there,
find
if you
it's
look at the image
vindictive
right there, with the guy with his pants
filing
pulled
with
down, they
no
put a
further
letter in my
information.
mailbox saying, "Stay with me, your neighbors."
So, Mr.
With it, there
Brown,
is more than
I know you
proof.
disagree.
No, I
but
just want to speak my side. I haven't
We've
been able to
already
say my
had that
side.
hearing on the Avery matter on 190 back on May 13th, and within 3 weeks, you're filing for an order against them.
Because of the letters they sent. Look
without
at the
any
letters.
information
If you,
that supports this.
I've
And the
been-
letter that's been sent is not sufficient information for unlawful harassment. Even if I were to believe that that's what this is, I find that your filing against them
I
is
just want these
vindictive.
letters.
So we'll
It's not
move back,
vindictive.
we'll move back to the case that you filed for an order against
Who
Mullenbry.
is still logged in? She has no reason to still be logged in.
Yes, she is. It's a public hearing. Anybody can watch,
She's
anybody
doing
can
this
be
so
in
she can
court.
do more things on the letters.
So,
I guarantee you
case
there's
number
things on the next
24,
letters can be
case number
involved in this hearing.
24-189, your
Yes,
request
denied.
against the Mullenbry, Ms. Loretta Mullenbry, not served. I'm just, we're gonna strike the hearing. You can always refile if you feel the need, but you haven't shown any service of notice of this hearing. There hasn't been an order issue.
I haven't been able to say anything.
They're not
I've said two
here.
words.
They're not here and you haven't shown
With any of these
service.
cases.
And
miss.
so
I haven't said nothing.
We're
I
striking
have,
this
I
hearing
have so much
and
information
dismissing
here.
this action.
I have information regarding to her and the person who stole my animals. I have
And
150
we've heard all of
pages.
that going back to May and
Your Honor,
April.
you did
So,
not hear any of this.
This court did and made
No,
decisions.
it did not.
I'm
take
not
my
arguing
court.
with
It
you
didn't
anymore,
take-
Mr. Brown.
I didn't present my
If
court
you
on the
feel the need
13th.
to file
I'm not
petitions, then
arguing.
you
I'm just
need to
telling you what
provide
happened.
evidence.
I never went to court on the 13th.
These are
They-
dismissed. The hearings are stricken. Cases are closed. Time to go. Time for you to go.
This isn't right.
Time for you to go.
I'm getting harassed by these
Follow the
people.
orders that have been issued
Your
against you.
Honor, I should be able to present my
Time for you
case.
to go.
I should be able to present my
Time
case.
for you
I
to
have
go,
not been able to
Mr.
present my
Brown.
case at all,
Go.
And this is not okay,
Leave the court.
okay? I've been getting harassed. They've left
Leave
bullets
the
in my
court,
mailbox.
Mr. Brown.
They put
Leave
a-
the court
They sent a
now.
gun man to my house. and I don't
Leave the
think there's
court
anybody-
now, Mr. Brown. I'm gonna tell security to make sure he leaves. You and I don't know. All right. Sorry. Difficult.